All right, let's get this show on the road. Live in 5, 4, 3. And good afternoon, folks. Thank you for tuning in here to today's Video Marketing for Auto Retail panel discussion. I'm Ryan Girardi. Thank you for taking time to join us, whether you're watching on the live stream or the video replay. Who knows, you might even be listening to the podcast. Great to have you here. Today is Thursday, November 21st. And for our discussion today, we're breaking this into two segments. We're actually combining two sessions. So we're combining our video marketing session as well as our social selling and auto retail session. So what we're going to do is spend the first probably 20 to 30 minutes focused on video marketing trends to watch for in 2020. And then we'll swap out our panelists and focus on 5 things that salespeople can do to get more comfortable using video. Our panelists, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here real quick. As you will see, let me undo this. We have Collin Davis here from Cartender, Chad Morgan at QuickPage App, Adam Thrasher at R22.io, and Mr. Terry Lancaster, who is a very familiar face around here as well. So, gentlemen, great to be up here with you.
Hola.
For having me.
So, Adam, let's get started with you. And folks, I should mention this is streamed live. It's recorded and featured on the podcast. And once the live stream ends, it becomes unlisted. So if you want access to the archive, you need to be subscribed to our YouTube channel to get that. So Adam, you're just coming off of the analytics and AI summit, right? Or attribution summit, right?
Automotive Analytics and Attribution Summit, yes.
Okay. Was that your first time down there?
It was. Yeah, it was at a horrible place, the Breakers in Palm Beach. You know, the weather was terrible. 70 and sunny every day. It was, I had to basically drag myself down there.
You had to drag yourself to the summit and get out of the resort.
I know, right? Yeah, try to play hooky a little bit. No, it was great. I learned a lot, and I think anybody that went got a tremendous amount of value from it.
Give us an idea of the atmosphere. You said it was at the Breakers Resort. Is it one ballroom? Is it breakout sessions? Is it just vendors? Is it dealers? Kind of give us a feel for that.
No, so it was, they had a big ballroom for the keynotes, but they had breakout sessions. They probably had, I think they had 5 or 6 going at a time. But a wonderful resort. There was a very high attendance from dealers. A lot of the conference I've been to lately, it's a room full of vendors, and there's not too many dealers, but this one was well attended by dealers. I spoke with quite a few that were there, and it was guys that they're tip of the spear, progressive dealers that want to learn, that realize that things are changing. Consumers' habits are changing. People are just starting to do things differently because, everybody wants everything right now. And businesses are having to shift and adapt and change. No change is a dirty word in the car business, but that was kind of the environment. So it was a nice change, and it wasn't pitchy. It was the vendors that were there were providing value, and for me, for a guy that's been on this side of the business for a while, it's refreshing.
Okay. And what I'm curious, being that we're here to talk about video marketing, what kind of presence did the use of video have at the summit, if any?
Sure. Yeah, there were several vendors that were advocating the use of video, obviously in different formats and for different reasons. But the overarching theme about using video allows you to tell a story. And in the car business, obviously there's a ton of competition out there, and so if you can have a strong brand promise and broadcast that out across different channels, whether it be traditional media, social media, digital media, however, video really allows you to get that message across. So for so long, all you see on TV and social media as far as car dealers is, slamming prices and, we got great deals and we got 10,000 cars to choose from. And, that's just noise. People tune that out. So if you can really, tell a story, create some emotion in the video that you're, creating, that's what's going to resonate with people nowadays.
And Collin, Chad, Terry, I mean, if you have questions for Adam specific to the summit in general, I mean, Adam, you've been working with dealers on video for over a decade now. So maybe give us an idea from your vantage point, where your focus is as it pertains to video with your dealers. And did you see any of your philosophies or ideas, I guess, reciprocated at the summit?
Sure. And that was, when I first really got, deep into video was when I was at a dealership group here in Nashville that I had basically no digital budget. So I started using YouTube to create content and publish on, one for SEO purposes, because YouTube used to rank better than anything. But yeah, at the conference, talking about, again, telling a story. We'll use platforms like Instagram and Facebook that have stories baked in. Again, the brand promise, being able to create funnels on social media by, creating an ad campaign just to drive awareness, basically tell your brand story, and then drive those people down based on the activity. If they watch your video all the way through, create a channel for that or create an audience for that and send them a different message after they watched it. Once they watch it, do they go to your website? If they go to your website, do they engage on it? And being able to really, start up here at a very broad funnel and bring people down to where, eventually at some point, they're going to look to you because they know you, like you, and trust you now. So, just being able to engage and provide value to people who are consuming your content. If you're not going to provide value, if you're constantly just going to talk about sales in your video, people are going to unsubscribe, unfollow. So you've got to put the what in it for them. What is in it for them? Are you just creating video or content just for the sake of creating content and trying to get seen in the noise? Or are you actually trying to provide value and become a valuable resource to people who are watching you?
Yeah, I'd like to add a comment to that. Adam, when you talk about, YouTube as a platform, I think you just made a really key point, which is what is the type of content you're actually creating and putting on YouTube? Because we've seen a lot of dealers who will put inventory slideshow videos on YouTube, and it's not a dumping ground for that. You definitely don't want to do that. YouTube is not going to see any value in that. It's smart enough to know that. So it's really about being intentional about what you're actually creating and what you're putting on the platform. So I think you make that point very clear. Another thing that was interesting you mentioned is how dealers are using the video metrics and the data to actually build retargeting audiences. And I think that's still kind of new for some of the vendors who are providing video, but I think it's a really key thing that they should be offering, because you can use behavioral data of how they're interacting with a video and where they're qualified in that viewership process and kind of retarget based on that. So I'm just curious, like when you were at the store or the group doing that, did you guys use a lot of that data to actually do that type of retargeting?
Well, when I was at the group, that was, 7 or 8 years ago.
Okay.
And it was, there weren't a whole lot of car dealers using video.
Mhm.
And so, I liked, I did a dumb thing, but, our dealership was well known in the area because we did sell to some prime business, and our dealership dealer principal spent $100,000 a month on TV. So, our reputation wasn't the best. So one of the things that I wanted to do with video was to, kind of rise above, the negativity that was going on out there. And again, with YouTube ranking so well organically back in the day, I mean, I'd throw a video up on YouTube and have a Google alert within half an hour that Google had actually found my video. But I didn't even look, the thing that I paid attention to back 8 years ago was views, view count, because again, if somebody was searching, and we can get into a long discussion about how to title your video to get found more, but if somebody is searching for whatever it is that you're talking about in your video, and you title that video to match their search, they're going to find it. And I really didn't care if it was somebody, well, I did want people locally to see the content, but I also wanted to, just become the resource for all things Kia when people went online, because again, our name wasn't the best. And, to do walk around videos, to do customer testimonial videos, test drive videos, how-to videos, and, things like that, just to become, hey, we're not just the guys selling cars. We know about cars, and we can help you. We can answer your questions when you go online to find those answers.
Yeah, it's like selling through education. I mean, that's obviously the big thing. Like, and
Yep.
you just said earlier, don't be blasting like, this is how much it is. This is how much it is. Those have a place for new car incentives or whatever. Like, that's your target, but that's a good point. We believe, educate and sell that way.
Yep, for sure.
Collin, a lot of the things, we talk about on a discussion like this, I mean, Adam, all of us very comfortable, familiar for the most part with video. In your experience, do you find that the dealers that you work with, are they able to create and produce and churn out this type of content, video content, and enough of it? It's kind of two questions. Are they able to make it? And if so, and even get enough of it out there? Nice shades, by the way, Adam.
I'm making a video of us making this video right now on my Snapchat spectacles.
That's
how easy it is to create content, guys. I pushed a button.
Nice.
Now I'm recording.
Well, so if you have Snapchat goggles, yeah, it's definitely really easy. You just turn them on and push. I would say, as with any business, you have to have a process for it. You have to commit to it, and you have to be persistent with it. So what we've done in the past is I've had a lot of experience kind of doing evergreen content. So we create test drive videos about cars, or we provide offer videos. But to get the dealer more involved, it's really just about getting them trained on starting with some simple strategies or simple things they can do to create that content. Adam just kind of spoke to a lot of those things, like do a walk around of the car, talk about a specific feature, maybe some how-to stuff, whatever it is. And, dealers have been hearing for a long time that they need to do video, but it's almost, video has this stigma as being this very difficult process because, I have to learn how to use a camera and how to film and how to edit and how to upload. And with today's tools, it's not that hard. So I think it's just more about the training and implementing the process and saying, hey, every day spend an hour going out there and just coming up with some new content ideas. And sometimes it's just a matter of doing keyword research and understanding what are people interested in, which you can do keyword research just like you can do when you're doing SEO or even coming up with ads. You can start to research what's trending, what's interesting. But more importantly, just have conversations with your customers and use those conversations as topic ideas for the type of content you're creating, because you're probably going to answer questions for a lot of other people that have those same questions.
Let me challenge you just a little bit, and then I want to get Chad in on this and talk about getting people to engage with your videos, getting customers to respond. But let me just challenge a little bit. Yeah, we all have a camera in our pocket these days, and it is much easier to get video out to the world than ever before, no doubt. But if your videos are inadequate or just don't hit a certain level, don't you think that there's a risk you're taking as a dealer of maybe looking bad? I mean, shouldn't there be some sort of standard that you shoot for?
Yeah.
Well, I'll address that, Ryan. Here's the thing. I spent 30 years producing TV ads for car dealerships. And so we wanted everything to be big and loud and look professional and bright colors and shining lights and quick edits and all of that. But the dramatic change over the last 5 years is the democratization of content. And the truth is, the less professional things look these days, to a degree, there's a cutting point somewhere, but to a degree, the less professional it looks, that means the more authentic it looks. If it looks like an ad, if it looks professional, if it's got great graphics and great chyron and letters across everything, people will scroll right past it because it looks like an ad. Where if it's Adam sitting there in his Snapchat goggles and his Google Dance T-shirt, well, that's just Adam, and then they're going to stop and see what Adam says. So to a degree, yes, you want it to look right, but I think the bar is much lower than people want it to be. People think, oh, I've got to go in and produce a Super Bowl commercial. I've got to add special effects. I've got to do that. And it's not about that at all. It's about putting your face in front of their face and talking to another human being.
I think what you really emphasize is if you're going to do it, just be authentic.
Yeah.
I think we're talking about two different things, though. I mean, one is like your this evergreen content that Collin's talking about. Another is just a personal follow-up video.
Mm-hmm.
There's two different things. I think, maybe the evergreen content, maybe it can be a little more polished, but like Terry was saying, like being real is there's this vacuum out there. Everybody wants to look so good and come across so polished, and what's really working is, like Terry was saying, is just being authentic. And whatever you're going to do, just make it authentic. That's working.
And I think just to add to that, I mean, let's face it, car dealers don't have, the most stellar reputation. I think car dealers and lawyers and politicians all, set the bar pretty low as far as, trust goes and experience. So the more authentic you can be, the more transparent you can be. I mean, that's really going to resonate with shoppers, because again, like Terry was saying, if it's all polished, you could put, it's like slapping lipstick on a pig, right? Like, just nobody's going to believe it.
Yeah, some of the best content I've seen is from a car dealer who just has a lot of personality and is uniquely himself. So the average person, or I'll say this, if you know how to create video content, and you have a lot of experience in that, you're going to be way more critical about that than the average viewer. The average viewer is used to seeing people on Snapchat or on Instagram or whatever documenting their life as themselves. So I think if you are, unique and different, you have a lot of personality like that, that's going to play to your benefit. The less polished, you're absolutely right. That's going to be like, okay, I've seen this before. It's highly produced. So I think reality TV is a testament to that. People love reality TV, and it's produced, but it doesn't look like it's produced. It looks like it's really happening.
Good point. And Chad, I think to your point, there's different types of videos. There's the evergreen stuff that Collin's talking about that is polished, is out of a studio and commercial, if you will. There's a place for that, and dealers need that. And then there's, the focus that like Terry takes is these personalized videos off the, shoot by the hip kind of stuff. Let's, for the next few minutes, Chad, let me turn to you and speak to customer engagement. What are some ways that dealers, either as an entity, as a dealership, or even as an individual, as personnel, what are some ways that dealers can get customers to engage and respond through the use of video?
Yeah, I've got a lot of them. We send out a lot of videos every single day, so I have a lot of data feedback of what's working right now. If you put the word video in your subject line, you're going to see a 20 to 25% better open rate. Why? Everybody wants video. Everybody wants video. That's how we're consuming content nowadays, is video. So that's one. Next is when you're reaching out to somebody, like you get a video to them as soon as you possibly can. It's crickets out there. Not very many dealerships are using video. I think it's going to be a little while. Right now, there's a really unique opportunity in the world. I believe within 2 or 3 years that opportunity is going to come crashing down, and you won't be able to compete without doing video. If you do video right now, it is the pattern interrupt, if you will. Because everyone's sending out the same old email, same old voicemail, same old text messages. If you come in with a video, you will instantly stand head and shoulders above your competition. And right now, you can kind of be, a half-assed sales guy and do pretty well on video, because that's what people want. It grabs attention and it builds trust and rapport like nothing else. So if you're leaving a voicemail, point them to the video. Hey, I left you, by the way, check your text message. I left you a video on there. I just made a video just for you just now, for you specifically. Check your text messages. You'll see it there. I think we all know that text is the most powerful way to deliver a message in 2019 and 2020. Probably 90% of texts get opened up within the first 3 minutes. Now you throw a video on top of that, you have a combination to start engagement. If you engage with your customer within the first 5 minutes, you're 10 times more likely to make a connection with them. And 30% of the sale goes to those that make the first engagement. So then you come in with a video, you've got, you've got a really strong chance of getting them into the showroom. Let's see. I know the thumbnails are kind of important nowadays. Like if you look at, I think Collin can probably speak to this too, is that thumbnails are really interesting. That's a focus of YouTube. If you want to get someone, you can have the greatest video, but if the thumbnail is kind of lame, we teach a couple of unique practices with writing the customer's name down on a sticky note or whiteboard and holding it up in front of the video. That way the thumbnail comes across with the customer's name on it. And there's no more powerful call to action on the internet right now than your name behind a play button from your salesperson.
It's a good tip.
Yeah. Making confirmations with video is pretty powerful too. Saying the customer's name on video, making it personal. It doesn't take long. Video is so quick. I think it's faster than an email personally. If I can hold up my phone in just a couple of minutes and say, hey, Ryan, this is Chad over at the dealership. I got your information and just want to take a second, introduce myself. How you doing? If that's all you did, you're going to stand head and shoulders above all the other emails, voicemails, and text messages that are coming in.
Well, I think you're creating a lot of trust right off the bat by making eye contact with them, even if it's through a screen. And the cool thing about what you're describing too is it's a one-way video. They're not having to be on video chat with you. And some people are a little nervous or afraid of doing that, like a video chat like this. So if you're sending the video to them saying, hey, this is me, I'm a real person, it just adds to that authenticity effect that we were talking about earlier.
It's, it's for the first time, a salesperson can use all of their 93% of communications, voice inflection, and body language, right? Mm-hmm. Right. And for the first time, video allows a salesperson to use all of their sales skills. You can't do that in a text message, a voicemail alone, or an email. So I believe right now, if you use video, you can just go scoop up all your competitors' customers. In 2 or 3 years, you're going to have to, the bar will be raised and the new standard will be video. Video is the future of follow-up. That's the truth. It's just a matter of time. So those that get in now can just, it's like shooting fish in a barrel.
I'm chuckling here you say it because I feel like we've been saying that video is the future. And to hear you say that it's still the pattern interrupt, which is probably legitimate. It's probably valid. The majority of dealers are not leveraging video on the personable video side. Collin, would you agree or disagree at the evergreen kind of commercial grade, or do you feel like dealers have the right partners and strategies in place as a whole?
Yeah, so similar to how you might decide which platform you're going to put your content on. So certain content's good for certain platforms. If it's Instagram and it's a story, like good quick hit videos, introducing yourself or just showing off something at the dealerships, kind of those micro moments. YouTube's really better for the longer form stuff. So if you want to do a full length walk around or a full length test drive, I think that's the platform of choice for that, especially if you're using it for search purposes. You're using video SEO tactics and you're using long tail content or long tail searches to help facilitate people discovering you. The evergreen content really makes sense for people at the top of the funnel who still may be considering some of the things about the vehicle. And it plays well in terms of like getting your foot through the door of doing video. But if it comes down to used cars, I definitely encourage dealers to be doing more of that personal, here's me, here's the actual car that's on the lot, and doing some kind of walkthrough. So there's different use cases for what type of content you're creating and then where you're actually going to be posting it as part of the conversation.
YouTube's come up a few times today.
Mm-hmm.
and there's definitely a use for YouTube, but Adam, Collin, do you recommend that dealers use YouTube as the hosting to embed videos on their website, or do you, to me, that seems like they're letting YouTube inside their customer base to some degree. Is there advantage or disadvantage in your opinion?
Well, again, like Collin was alluding to, I mean, there's tons of different platforms out there, and your content needs to be tailored to the platform that you're publishing it to. So, you know, as far as YouTube, if you're going to do like what we did 8 years ago, we did a video walk around on every single car, new and used. And, you know, our IMS was able to shoot the YouTube URL to, you know, our website and third-party platforms. So that for us worked well. It was efficient. You know, we had a 3-store group. Our guys were shooting YouTube all day, every day, and it just made things a lot easier. But if you're going to, you know, do a personalized walk around video and shoot that to a customer, then YouTube is not the answer. There's too much noise on YouTube. You know, much better to use something like QuickPage or any of the other apps out there. You know, the hell, there's even a CRM out there that has video baked into it already. So to Chad's point, yes, video is definitely the you know, the way of the future, and you know, it shouldn't be the way of the future. It should have been done 5-10 years ago. But again, you know, change seems like it's a bad word in the car business. But, you know, I really think you've got to, you know, just use the tools that are available to you. Obviously, YouTube is free. You know, there's tons of tools out there that are free. But if, you know, if your dealership is willing to invest just a few dollars, and it's so cheap, it's not even funny, just a few dollars in any of the tools that are out there, like use the tool that's best suited to the platform that you're posting to.
Mm-hmm. I would say vendors as a whole have to do a better job of helping dealers understand how to create the content too. Because if you're going to give them this tool, they just need to know how to use it correctly. Sometimes, you know, people can just figure it out, and that's fine, but it would probably help them to educate them better on how to use it. One thing I would say is YouTube used to be a great ranking signal for your videos getting exposed in search. And it was kind of gamed for a while, but Google quickly squashed that. So I think the idea that YouTube is this amazing SEO boost is definitely a far gone assumption. So if you're going to use YouTube, yeah, it's great for search if it's long tail, and this is content that can survive and live online for 6 months and still be relevant. But if you're going to be driving traffic to your site or keeping someone within your process, use, you know, something like QuickPage or something that drives them back to your website, because that's where you want to keep them and kind of capture them.
So you're saying, just so I'm clear, that YouTube videos as an SEO strategy is not necessarily as effective as it was a few years ago?
Not as effective as it was maybe 5-6 years ago, when it became like, oh, this is easy to get ranked because they're promoting video at the top. Right. YouTube and Google have gotten smarter about that. And they also think that the content has to be qualified to give you that ranking signal. So they have better technology to be able to understand if it's good content. If it's a 1-minute video, it's probably not going to hit the top of the search page. But if it's long form content and a lot of people have been watching it, YouTube gives it a higher rank because they know it's engaging content. So it's all about relevancy. And if your content doesn't show relevancy per Google or YouTube's algorithms, then, you know, your ranking signals aren't performing well. It's not going to perform well in search. So again, longer form content is best for YouTube, something that kind of live on YouTube for a while and kind of help you drive more interest based on their search intent.
So that's the thing I've noticed about YouTube here recently. Again, it was before you could put up a video and then boom, the next day it's right there on the front page of Google. Now it still seems to be working, but there's a lag. I mean, it's 3 or 6 months, and all of a sudden you'll notice you're trending, or you're showing up for something that, based on a video you posted 6 months ago, that's holding up. So it seems like they put a little time delay in it to see, okay, is this video going to be relevant for a good long time? All right, now we'll start paying attention to it.
Mm-hmm. Like inventory videos used to actually rank on YouTube, and then they quickly were like, this is just a bunch of slideshow videos and, you know, standard features about a car. There's no really context. There's no value in that. So we need to do a better job of giving people better relevant results if it's going to be a video. So there's like much stricter standards for that today.
Guys, this is good. And folks that are watching, we're gonna segue into our second segment. And I know, Collin, you were on a time crunch, so you probably have to get out. So we're going to start our second segment in just a moment here, folks, which is going to, like I said, we're combining the social selling and auto retail session into here. So in just a moment, we're going to move into 5 things that salespeople can do today to get more comfortable using video. I wanted to point out for you guys, you know, we're doing this every month. And, you know, Chad, Collin, Adam, these guys here, they know the space. I think a lot of great stuff came out of here. These trends, right? Like YouTube, short form versus long form, and SEO strategy. These are key things that aren't static. They change over time. It's important that, you know, that the dealers out there understand where to put their time. So feel free to reach out to any of these gentlemen here. And guys, thanks for taking the time to be here today and helping us kind of kick off or revive the video marketing series.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
See you later, Collin, Adam, Terry, Ryan.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
See you guys.
See ya.
So stay tuned, everyone. Terry and I are going to stay on here. I'm going to share my screen real quick just to provide a second orientation. So we just finished the video marketing panel focusing on 2020 trends to watch. I should say trends to watch in 2020. If you like what you see, what you hear, get registered for the Video Marketing for Auto Retail series. It's one of 6 automotive panel sessions that we do here every month. Look for the post on autoconversion.net. I put it in the show notes. There's a comment section down at the bottom if you have any questions or anything you want to throw at us related to today's conversation. So Terry, let's get into 5 ways for automotive sales professionals to be more comfortable using video. I think I listed them out. You have embrace the suck, make them a star, keep it short, and know what you're going to say before you say it. And then you have your ninja strategy. So let's start with embracing the suck.
So I hope Adam Thrasher, I know he left, but I hope he stuck around, because I straight up stole this dead from Adam Thrasher about a year ago. He was on the Get You Some radio show, and he said, listen, your first video is going to suck. Your first video is going to suck. I promise it's going to suck. I guarantee you it's going to suck. I bet money it's going to suck. Guess what? Do it anyway. It's going to suck. Accept the fact that it's going to suck. You're not a Hollywood star. You're not waiting to be discovered. But do it anyway, because your second one's going to suck less. Your third one's going to suck less. And the only way to get better is to be bad. Anything worth doing is worth doing badly. And I had this conversation with a salesperson just last week. He had heard me talking about this a year ago, because I'd said, embrace the suck, except your videos are going to suck. But it doesn't matter, because no one cares anyway. Nobody, we worry so much about what other people care, what other people think about us, when they don't hardly think about us at all. Nobody cares if video sucks. You're the only one. You're the only one worrying about it and fretting over it and editing it for an hour to make it perfect. Nobody else cares. Just do it. Just do it. That's the only acceptable answer.
And you know what I'm going to add to that? And I have found this. I always used to say, use the analogy. If you go in and watch a movie, how easy is it to walk out of that movie theater and say, that movie sucked?
Yeah.
Regardless of the fact that hundreds of people just put millions of dollars and probably 2 to 3 years of blood, sweat, and tears to make that movie, to sit there and go, that sucked. So I use that analogy because no matter how much work you put into your video, to your content, to your video, most of the people are not going to watch it, not going to appreciate what you put into it, might even say it's not worth their time and turn it off. So I'm with you, man. You just have to embrace the fact that you just got to get over yourself and just do it.
It's like anything we do in life. We're never perfect the first time. You have to accept the imperfections in order to get better. And you've read the book better. The entire, perfection is an obstacle because it prevents us from doing things poorly, because we want so badly to be perfect that we're unwilling to be imperfect. But give yourself permission to be imperfect.
So let's go to step number 2, make them a star. What are you saying here?
Well, here's the thing. So you've heard of 1, 2, 3, the first, second, and third tier of automotive advertising: the manufacturer, the regional association, and the dealer group. Well, a couple of years ago, people started talking about 4th tier advertising, which is the salesperson advertising and promoting themselves. So this is my concept about the 5th tier, of automotive advertising, and it's not the manufacturer, it's not the association, it's not the dealership, it's not even the salesperson, it's the customer. The more you can make someone else the star, the more pressure that takes off you. So if you can do a video with your customers, if you can do a video of your customers, that's just as powerful as a video of you. Do a video customer testimonial. I encourage salespeople to get out and meet people in the community and get videos with other people in the community out doing great things. I had Dave Clayton, who's a salesperson over at Tidelands Ford in South Carolina. He was on the Get You Some radio show this week, and he interviews interesting people in the community. He was interviewing an artist who was doing some wood carvings in town. Just, it's like the Tonight Show. If you go to his Facebook page or his YouTube, it's like the Tonight Show. He's got interesting people. He's got other business people help promoting their business, and it builds this level of reciprocity. If you're out supporting the community, then the community is going to support you. And from a video aspect, you're a lot less nervous if you're talking to your buddy than you are if you're staring into the eyeballs of a camera, because that's a little daunting. I'm trying to carry on a personal conversation with this inanimate object here in front of me. But if you got a human being there, it makes it more human. It takes some of the pressure off you.
I agree. I think there's some truth to that. I want to elaborate on that. But while you were talking about embracing the suck, one of our viewers wrote in that a crappy something is better than a perfect nothing, which I got to say, he took the words right out of my mouth because I was on my mind. Not everybody's comfortable on video. So I don't think you should. I have learned, I believe, I am permission-based with video. I literally used to show up and, hey, you're on camera, right?
Yeah.
Put people on the spot. And for the most part, it works out, but doesn't necessarily make the person comfortable. I've become permission-based. Hey, Terry, would you mind getting on camera? And the reality is that does give people a chance to not do it. But what you're saying is focus your content on the customer.
Right.
Now, but that's only going to apply in some scenarios. I mean, if you're
right. Well, that is a scenario.
So one scenario for that would be, hey, you just bought a car, had a great experience. What did you think? Right. That's one.
Exactly.
Scenario. Right. Any other scenarios where that would apply in your mind?
Well, so take your camera. If you're a salesperson, go back and interview the service manager. Interview some other people at the dealership. So you're putting, everyone sees the salespeople. The salespeople are front facing, but there are other people in the dealership who aren't as customer facing, and they have stories to tell as well. So that and every additional face puts another human face on the dealership. So go talk to some people in the dealership. If you have a customer and they come in, and even if they didn't buy a car, say they're there for an oil change, you're not getting a testimonial. But they run they run a restaurant, a cafe, couple blocks away from the dealership. Talk to them about what the daily specials are at their restaurant today. Give them a chance to promote themselves and promote their ideas and promote what's going on in their lives. They'll appreciate the opportunity to reach your audience, and it builds up the relationship that you have with them for the future.
I like that tip. Go get other people in the dealership to be part of the video creation.
Sure.
You're humanizing the dealership. You're creating camaraderie. You're taking the focus off of you. It's probably could be more entertaining to the customer as well. I think that's a good tip, man. I like that. Okay. Third, keep it short. I think that says a lot in itself, but elaborate on that.
Well, keep it short primarily, but again, the focus of this is because you want to be more comfortable, and it's easier. I talk a lot about the Pomodoro technique. It's something I use for productivity, which is you limit yourself. I'm going to single task. I'm going to do one thing for a limited amount of time. So I'm going to spend the next 20 minutes making cold calls, the trick is, if you tell yourself, oh, I'm only going to do it for 20 minutes, then you're more willing to jump in than if you've got to sit down and make, 100 calls, or you tell yourself if you're going to do it for the next 3 or 4 hours, you're going to keep trying to find ways to get out of it. The same way, if you're worried about doing this video and you don't know what to say, if you go, okay, well, I've only got to be on there for 30 seconds. I've only got, you're more willing to jump on and commit to it if you know, okay, I'm only going to do 30 seconds or 45 seconds or a minute or 90 seconds. And so it's just a mind hack to get you in there to do it. And that's me. But the great benefit is most videos, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook or wherever, they only get watched for about 3 to 6 to 9 seconds, whatever it is. It's, most people don't watch the whole video anyway. Now, there are a couple of caveats, whereas longer videos are better. Like we were talking about, Collin was talking about on YouTube, and there's a place for long form and for short form video. I do a 30-minute interview program every week. You have this 30-minute video program that we're doing now. So there's long form content, but in order for you, if you're not done a lot of videos and you just want to get comfortable, tell yourself, hey, I'm gonna shoot a quick 30-second video, and that way, that doesn't sound as daunting as talking to a camera for 30 minutes. So keep it short so you can trick your mind into jumping in and doing it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Especially in the car, shopping or buying experience. A 2 to 3 minute video would be plenty long for most things you want to do. With you. Okay, so fourth tip: know what you're going to say before you say it. Makes sense.
And here's the caveat to this. I absolutely do not mean script your videos. Never, ever, ever under any circumstances try to write a script and read that script into a camera. Do not do that. It will not go well. You will be scoffed at. So do not script it, but make some bullet points. Know what you're going to say. If you will learn, if you're going to do a video, and you know what you're going to say as soon as you push the button. Whereas most people, they push a live button and they're hemming and hawing and waiting for people to come on and checking the angles and everything. So know the first 10 words you're going to say. Know the first sentence you're going to say so that you can push the button, boom, and jump in and say it. Know how you're going to get started. Know the bullet points for what you're going to talk about. And if you're doing a 2 or 3 minute video, if you've got 2 or 3 bullet points, that's plenty. So know the bullet points that you're going to hit, the highlights that you're going to hit, and then know what you're going to say at the end. Know how you're going to close that. And if you'll just know those 5 things, how to start it, how to end it, and a couple of bullet points for in the middle, it'll take care of it itself. It'll roll off your tongue.
I like that tip. So I'm with you. You definitely don't want to read a script. What I'm going to suggest for the most part is, at very minimum, create a bulleted list, like you said, and feel free to have that list in front of you, right? There's an authenticity to creating the video and having it in front of you. Have the list so you can keep your thoughts organized, because it's real easy to forget stuff when you're recording.
Right.
If you're doing a recorded video versus a live, what I find is when you're doing a recorded video, it's easy to stop because you messed up.
Yeah.
So sometimes this is why I like doing live, because there's no stop or pause. You just got to go with it. And so
there's no safety net.
Yeah, it forces a level of authenticity. So in that sense, live is cool. And the other thing I would say is, I do recommend writing out what you want to say for the most part, writing it out, getting it nailed down, reading it out aloud a few times, and then, go to your bullet points or scrap it and go to the recording. Like you said, know what you're going to say before you say it.
Here's what happens to me when I write it out, because I'm very meticulous when I write. But these words go in this order, and so if I write something that I really like, I'll go, "Ooh, that's a good phrase, Terry. You did good right there." So and I've got it like that. When I'm speaking and when I'm talking to the camera, maybe my brain doesn't recall it in exactly that same way, and it kind of gives me a little pause, like, "Ooh, I had something better to say, and I didn't say it exactly like that." So if I write it out ahead of time, I'm subconsciously trying to recall back to it, and sometimes that forces me to not do as well as I would like, because I'm trying to recreate those mellifluous, I can't even think of the word, those beautiful words that I had on paper. So
superfluous.
mellifluous is
mellifluous. All right, I want to get into your super secret ninja trick, but before that, one thing I see you do often are your Facebook Live videos. You just kind of
Yeah.
pop up the camera. When you do those, they're usually 5 minutes, sometimes up to 10.
Right.
How much thought are you putting into what you're going to say? Do you have a checklist, a bullet list?
I do exactly. I keep those videos. When I do a Facebook Live, I shoot for between 5 and 10 minutes, specifically because I can only put a 10-minute, when I take those same videos and upload them to LinkedIn, and I'm only get 10 minutes on the LinkedIn video. So I keep them under 10 minutes. I shoot for 5 to 10 minutes, and I do exactly that. I had the bullet point. These are the 2 or 3 or 4 things that I'm going to talk about. I always nail the opening, cold opening. I know exactly what I'm going to say when the light comes on. Boom, say these words. Know what I'm going to say, know the intro, know the lead, write down a couple of bullet points for what I want to talk about, and then have the close.
All right, let's get into your super secret ninja. Hold on. Your Terry's super secret ninja strategy. What do you got?
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you this, and I guarantee you no one's going to do it because no one's done it yet, but it will change your life if you do it. If you're a local salesperson, you sell cars for a living in Tacoma, Iowa, somewhere in Tacoma, Iowa, this week, there's a meeting of an organization called Toastmasters. Toastmasters is an organization. It's a business organization, a business networking organization, just like the Rotary Club, just like the Lions Club, where people get together and meet once a week, get to be friends, form relationships, form a network, form a tribe. But the whole purpose of Toastmasters is to help people learn to speak better, to become better public speakers, not with the idea of becoming Tony Robbins or going on stage and being a public speaker, but because we all have to speak in front of people in our lives. We have to speak to prospects. Sometimes we have to speak to group meetings. We have to lead a meeting, and some people aren't naturally comfortable about that. Public speaking, depending on who you ask, is either the first or second biggest fear in people's life. And I would put speaking into a camera right up there with public speaking. So Toastmasters exist to get people, to encourage people to become more comfortable with public speaking. If you go to a Toastmasters meeting every week, you're going to have to stand up for 2 minutes and speak, whether you want to or not, whether you know what you're going to speak about or not. You'll go to a Toastmasters meeting and they go, today's topic is tomatoes. Ryan, talk to us for 2 minutes about tomatoes. And you got to talk, and it's just and it really improves your presence dramatically, because the first time it sucks, the second time it sucks a little bit less, the third time it sucks a little bit less than that, and repetition is how you get there. So it puts you in front of people, gets you used to thinking on your feet, gets you used to talking out loud in front of people, and it will improve your speaking, it will improve your sales presentations, it will improve your videos. Join Toastmasters today.
I have a comment to read from John who's watching, but that's a great tip. Join Toastmasters. Just for clarity's sake, what kind of commitment should someone expect with Toastmasters? You said it's every week. Is it for 8 weeks, 12 weeks, or the rest of your life?
It's up to you. You can go for a couple weeks and check it out for free. You can join and stay in it for the rest of your life. There's ongoing programs. But here's the super secret ninja part about it. Every person who's at that Toastmasters meeting with you, they drove a car to get there, and they're going to buy a car sometime in the next 3 to 5 years.
That's
so
great.
You're immersing yourselves in the life of prospective buyers. At the same time, you're improving your skills. So the commitment is up to you. You can go check it out for free. It's dirt cheap. You can go check it out for free. You can join for I think you join for a year at a time. There's annual dues if you decide to join it, but you can go for a couple of months before they make you join. And then if you decide to join, you join for a year at a time. I think the annual dues are $30, something like that. So it's practically free, and all it takes is some time and you showing up and making friends to sell more cars.
I think that's a great tip for a salesperson. When you said that, I thought car sales and realtors need to be at Toastmasters.
Insurance agent, all that. Yeah.
Great tip. Well, listen, that wraps up the 5, what did I call it? The 5 things that salespeople can do to be more comfortable using video, embrace the suck, make them a star, keep it short, know what you're going to say before you say it, and adhere to Terry's super secret ninja strategy and go to Toastmasters. John over at Cutler, while we were talking about video, said easy commitment is to do 10 videos that you know won't post to aid in getting more comfortable in front of the camera. Okay. So he's saying just go make some videos. Go
Right.
make 10 videos that you don't share with anybody. That's a great tip, John. That's,
Yeah.
you know, look, I've been doing this for years, been on camera for years. It took me a long time to find my mojo with the format that you're looking at now. It did. It took a lot of practice. And I did. I had to go back and study, not just myself, but I also study other people. I study professionals, professional people on TV, always studying what people do. But that's a great tip, John. Record yourself, and that you're not going to share with anyone, and post them, and maybe share them with a couple of people just to get their feedback. It's an idea too. Thanks for the tip, John. That's really good. He also says Toastmasters is a great organization, and he seconds your endorsement of Toastmasters. Okay, so that is a wrap from our social selling and auto retail segment. If you're not already subscribed to autoconversion.net, be sure that you are, because when we post announcements about sessions like this, you'll be notified automatically. If you like the session, look for the sign up link at the bottom, or just go to Webcast, go to Auto Retail, and pick one of your sessions. We have 6 different programs under the Auto Retail Marketing Webcast series. Each of them requires their own individual registration. You can register for one or more. It's up to you. That'll trigger your access to join us backstage here on Zoom. There's also a subscribe button to our YouTube channel. So I recommend that you do that. Press the bell icon to turn on notifications. That way, every time we schedule to go live, you get notified, and you'll have the link, because once we turn off this feed, the video becomes unlisted. So unless you have the link to it, you won't be able to access it. You can also mark yourself as interested to our recurring Facebook event, and that'll get you access and notified of all of our upcoming events. There is a calendar, online calendar of events right here on the site. And the good thing is you can click in there and see who's on each individual session. And we link to the spread about it on our blog. So next up is our fixed ops marketing session on Tuesday, the 26th. I think that covers it. Be sure to join the Auto Conversion community. We have a LinkedIn discussion group called the Auto Conversion Influencers Group. We also have a member network on Slack that you can join by signing up as well. Terry, any final thoughts for you, bud?
Go make a video. That's my final thought. Go shoot a video.
Right now, that's going to be your homework for right now.
Yeah.
Right? Is go out and do what John says. Go take 10 videos of yourself. Give them to me and Terry. Reach out to us.
Yeah, I'll look at them for sure.
Yeah, we'll give you some feedback. All right, John, thanks for chiming in and your input. Terry, always a pleasure to have you up here. It's great being up here with you.
Ciao.
And look, everyone else, just have a great rest of the day and great holiday if we don't see you before the holiday. Take care, everyone.